Giving advice can be bad. We don't usually think of advice being bad, but when people are going through certain things that they don't always want to hear our advice, and especially people who are going through something emotionally traumatic, they need to be listened to. So, Lynn, the Bible tells us that we're here to love each other. And oftentimes we think loving, I'm going to tell people what to do because if they need the right thing, we need to get them out of the wrong thing and into the right thing. I know the right thing, I'm going to tell them. What could be harmful with that, with people and relationships?
Okay, what could be harmful? All right, well, first off, you triggered a thought for me. I think we've all been there. We've all been there where we see something happening and we think we know best for them how it should be handled. We want to help them get through it because we want to help people. It's part of just who we are. We love them. We feel like we want to help them. But what's bad about it is that sometimes we move too quickly and we don't actually understand where it is, where they are, what they're feeling, what they're going through. And if we jump immediately to telling them what to do or what we think they should do, it kind of cuts off that conversation. It cuts off that possibility of self-understanding. It can imply judgment. It can create dependency. It kind of tells them that they aren't competent, then they can't find their own way, when in fact they can, and we need to empower them to do that by listening rather than giving advice.
Right. I think that when we stop giving advice, what I'm hearing and giving people that time to reflect, well, the power is turning away from us, which is minimal, and the great power that's available in them that either they know about or they haven't discovered or they forgot that it's in them. The answers are in them. There's a difference, I think, between saying, well, sometimes these chairs move. I know how to fix them now, Okay. But if someone didn't, I could say, oh, I know where to get the little hex wrench for that, and then that's not a big deal, But there's other issues of life that are, again, they're more emotional. Say that a person has just lost their job or something, and they feel like a failure, and they're being told, get out of here, we don't value you enough to keep you. And that hurts. And then, to say, well, you should have done that, don't you think? Not the right thing to say.
Well, no. And I think that the pain of that, the loss of that for that person, they need an opportunity to kind of process that in order to move on. And if we're uncomfortable with their feelings and shut it off, then we have limited their opportunity to grow from that experience. I mean, the truth is, we do grow from painful experiences as much as we don't like them and our friends hate to see us go through it.
So, yeah, and pain is a part of life, and yes, we grow through those painful experiences. I would think the more that we have dealt successfully with our painful experiences, knowing that we became who we are through them, the better we can be for others. But I still think one of the great things that's hard for us is just be still, focus on them, be able to put ourselves aside so that they can process what's happening to them and the dust can settle and they can begin to get clarity.
I agree.
And then, how do you get to a place where you allow people to go through their pain? But then at the same time, people who've really gone through some hard stuff will say, when you have good people around you, oh my gosh, without them, what have I been?
Yeah, the support that others can give you. I think it's hard to give support to others when you haven't processed your own pain. Part of the training that people go through to learn how to be there for others, how to put myself in the back seat and put them in the front seat, is to have experienced and processed your own pain first, so that when you tell me I lost my job, I don't immediately go to, oh my gosh, that happened to me, and let me tell you how it felt for me. and now it's all about me. I'm not really listening to you. So yeah, part of it, I don't think it's a natural skill. I think it's a learned skill.
Right. Yeah, a learned skill. And I'm hearing that when you said that, I see a lot of people doing just that. As soon as we hear what somebody else has gone through, if they risk opening up with us, we immediately get into our stuff.
Right.
Well, this is what happened to me, and
Right. It triggers your own experiences. So now I can tell you what to do. And yet, nobody's experience is exactly the same, ever. They need to experience and process their experience of what they're going through. So for us to give them that opportunity, we kind of need to have dealt with our own stuff a little bit first, so we can put ourselves, again, in the back seat, put them in the front seat.
I'm one who believes that, yes, the key, I'll say this, the most important thing that we can give other people is work on ourselves. That the more that our darkness is being dealt with, which in the church, in Christianity, in our faith, is believing that that's what Christ has come to do. We call that sanctification, where he deals with our darkness and our pains in life so that we don't get maladjusted, or we readjust our life to something else. And as we are able to do that, we grow. And so the more that we grow, the more we're able to love others. And at the same time, Lynn, I still think that even for me, well, I say even for me, like I'm some guy who's all sanctified. But it's at the same time, it still can be hard, because I feel that automatic desire to say, oh, no, it's going to be okay, just hang in there, and whatever. I mean, was it ever hard for you learning these things?
Yes, I had to practice.
You had to practice.
I had to practice. I think when I was going through school, we were taught how to be a listener, how to be present, how to make eye contact, how to keep your body posture open.
Like, I'll do this.
Right, not this. And then how to do reflective listening, how to, when we hear somebody say something, acknowledge it either non-verbally or verbally, how to reflect what they're feeling. Gee, it sounds like that was a really hard time for you. Are you feeling blah, blah, blah? Give them a chance to evaluate. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. No, that's not how I'm feeling. But
right, so you say to them, am I getting it?
Right.
And then you get more reflexive back.
And give them that opportunity. So you had to practice. I had to practice, and I went home and I practiced on my family. One time, my daughter, who was a teenager, did not appreciate it at all. She told me to quit therapizing her.
Is that a word?
No, but she made it well. But yeah, you've got to practice that kind of reflective, active listening. I don't think it comes naturally. All about me is what comes natural.
All about me. And I have the answer for your life, and this is what you need to do.
Right. So,
I think I just want to encourage you, okay, that there's not a lot of people who can do this, but it's extraordinarily important. If you ever wanted to find something to invest your life into, this is one of the greatest things I think you can do as a human being on the planet. To love others in this way. Mm-hmm. We get love confused with, let me take away your pain.
Yeah.
They're hurting. They need pain. Now, and sometimes we do need to take people's pain away. If somebody's starving and you got food, get them some food. If they're stuck on the road and you understand what's going on with their number 3 cylinder,
right.
Tell them.
Right.
But there are other times, I think, for us as humans that we need to deal with this stuff. We can't grow for others and they can't grow for us.
Right.
But we can't help.
Absolutely, we can.
We can be the kind of people who are reflexive, who are learning and not saying, let me tell you how to run your life, or immediately get into my story. So even when you say that you've learned this in your life, Lynn, does it have a tendency to go away and get back to Lynn?
Uh-huh. Absolutely. It does. That's why I think practice is so important. And being intentional. We have to be intentional. And yeah, I forget it. I mean, I'm a mom. I have kids. I have grandkids. And of course, I know how they should live their lives, but yeah, I think you have to be intentional. You have to brush up. It helps to be with other people that are have like mind to remind you, and I think that's where Stephen's ministry comes in. And I think it has to do with trusting that they, in their process, with the help of God, will find their path. It's trusting them. And trusting that you're not the one that has to fix it. You're not the healer here. You're the helper.
Right. And I know one of the words that you've said to me before that sticks with me, trust the process, trust the process.
Right.
Let's get this fixed now.
Yeah.
Stop doing this, start doing this, and
it takes time.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It's trusting the process. And again, you think that, well, some things you can get down once and then you can just keep on going. But you get this slipping back into your life of wanting it. I mean, as a pastor, as soon as I hear stuff, all the times I want to say, you should do this or that, rather than just let the process go within them to be reflexive. I want to sell it again. Okay. This is a big deal. If you can practice these things in your life, you really, to make an impact. There's nothing greater than I think we can do on the earth than to love and build up others. And I think this is a great way to love and to build up others in your life. But I guess it's not always easy. You ever a client that got on your nerves?
Yes.
Yes.
I think, but honestly, for the most part, even though I had some clients that were going through really hard times or brought a lot of it upon themselves, when you get to know somebody and you understand them and you hear their heart, I loved them all, even the really hard ones. Yeah.
So they could get on your nerves, but once you understood, I just want to throw in another pitch here. The more that you understand other people, the less they will not get on your nerves. And then there's where the love is. Love is patient, love is kind. I see love as patient, as trusting the process, walking with people even though you have the answers. And it's the same thing we would say that God does with us. That Christ has conquered all things through his death and resurrection on our behalf, called us his dear children. Does he know what we should be doing and what we should stop doing? Yeah, he does. But does he always say, hey, and sometimes he might, and when we're ready to hear it, stop it, or where our conscience talks to us, or the word talks to us. But God stays with us. He walks with us. This will enrich your life, is to be able to love and walk with others, to bring the best out in others, to bring in what they have going on inside of them to a better place. And I just think that these people are rare in the life. Mm-hmm. I've heard that, most humans, they say at best, can hear, something like 20% they can hear what another person's saying, because there's so much into, and that could be false information, but it's self. It's so strong.
Well, yeah, most of us, as we're listening to other people, we're thinking about what I want to say next. We're not really hearing their words. So we get in the way of them being able to process, because we're not really with them. And they can tell.
They can tell.
I think people can tell when you're really listening and when you're really caring and seeking to understand. Or when you're daydreaming, or you're looking, or they know whether you're with them or not.
I mean, I've been noticing lately when I talk to some people, I'm doing my stuff, but you can watch their minds going in another place.
Right.
And part of that thing was when your mind is doing this as someone's talking to you, when it's saying, oh, I'm going to tell them this, I'm going to tell them this. Mm-hmm. That's not good. I think that, but when you do hear them, that is to reflect. Asking questions, I don't think, is a bad thing.
No,
it's saying, can you tell me more about that? Right. When that first happened to you? Or can you tell me about another time in your life when you've been through the same type of thing, and how did that work for you? That it's helping people grow. I like the Bible, it says, I think it's Philippians, it says, knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. Mm-hmm. and it's about building up
Okay.
others and
That's
about
good.
being free. So we just want to say to you, encourage you in your life to, I don't know, should we say keep your mouth shut? No. Well, maybe we should. I mean, but that's for all of us.
Yeah.
To learn to be better in your ears than what you say. Watch your advice. Love people. Trust that they have within them the truth. And the way that they can get at that is just by you being there for that friend that's hurting or that family member. So I want to say, hey, thank you for being with Lynn and I. And Lynn's going away. I think so am I. And, but we won't.
We'll be back.
Well, we'll be back. But because I was thinking about you on your trip. You know, someone comes to you and says that, and on my trip too, there could be opportunities for this to happen.
That's part of it. Getting to know other people.
Yeah. So we want to say God's blessings be with all of you on your journey, and be a good listener.
Thank you.
Thank you.